Hello everyone. Today we are talking about actual energy sources problems. Now and then when someone refers to energy sources problems, the first idea that comes to our minds is climate change because of the CO2 emission produced by non-renewable energy sources, which is true. However, it is necessary to consider also high prices of energy and how the world is dealing with the transition to alternative ones with low CO2 emissions. Furthermore, it is mandatory to mention that the biggest second problem of energy around the world is the lack of access to enough of it for millions of people, which represent a huge negative impact in their lives and even represent a low life expectancy according to the United Nations. First of all, we need to consider that GDP, gross domestic product, and CO2 emission goes hand in hand as is shown in the graphic. Likewise, 87% of CO2 emissions are produced for energy production, where the richest people manage to be responsible for the very highest emission. For instance, in countries where developed people have an average income between $15,000 and $20,000 per year, CO2 emissions are close to 4.8 tons per year, or CO2. And in countries where people average income is about 25,000 per year, emissions are higher than the global average. So there is basically an equality problem here and there, where people in the United States emit more CO2 in 4 days than they in poor countries in a whole year, such as Ethiopia, Uganda, and Malawi. In order to create a level playing field, it is necessary to consider how the big differences between CO2 emission of poor countries versus rich ones are explained by the lack of access to modern energy and technology, which is the second big problem of the poorer half of the world, named as energy poverty, and is causing some of the worst global problems of our time relying on solid fuel sources, mostly firewood, but also dung and chrome waste. The use of those energy sources is cheap, but the high prices over the health of poor people through indoor air pollution, which is considered the largest risk factor for early death, being responsible for 1.6 million deaths each year. In addition, the use of wood as energy source also contribute to ecosystem deforestation, being direct related with poverty according to the FAO researches. And nowadays wood is considered the most important driver of forest degradation across Africa, providing more of 50% of the total energy use. Sooner or later, if this tendency continues, it is forecast by many researchers that our actual world will change to worse, where deforestation, contamination, and pollution will be the normal rule. Thus, it is necessary that we call the shots to adopt real changes step by step, finding large-scale energy alternatives to fossil fuels that are affordable, safe, and sustainable, such as geothermal, biofuel, solar, wind, and hydroelectric. Unfortunately, none of them are being well developed to produce energy in a massive way except for electricity case, which has been taking advantage in the last 20 years to be promoted by vehicles, batteries, and sound stations to charge. Notwithstanding, it is still possible to do it better, as in the case of France and Sweden, where the 92% and 99% of electricity comes from low-carbon sources respectively, being able to be closer to the greatest expectancy of a sustainable energy world of the future. But the real situation shows us that every country is still far away from providing clean, safe, and affordable energy at a massive scale, and unless we make rapid progress in developing those technologies, we will remain stuck in the two unsustainable alternatives of today: energy poverty or greenhouse gas emissions. Thank you.